clean.
Not one seat for them.
Forget woman we vacuuming.
Not one seat for them.
The heart don't have no romance. So if all you love your country, with yellow don't take a chance.
Not one seat for them.
We are the winning team. We are the winning team.
Oh, you mean?
We are the winning team. And we will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP.
Oh, you mean?
We will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver.
Grenada in Shida is our.
We will deliver.
Poverty rising by the hour.
You don't see?
You don't see everybody sour.
What's the face?
That is why we bringing back Jonah.
How you
We
mean?
will deliver. We will deliver.
Everybody.
We will deliver. We will deliver.
You don't know.
People wanted change, so we give them change. Now it's big horrors. They wanted dollars.
Unemployment high, poor people up slow. For this country,
What?
growth and the sea must go.
Oh, you
We are
mean?
the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We are
Everybody.
the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver.
Grenada in Shida is our.
We are the winning team. We are the winning team.
Oh, you mean?
We are the winning team. And we will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP.
Oh, you mean?
We will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver.
Grenada in Shida is our.
We will deliver.
Poverty rising by the hour.
You don't see?
You don't see everybody sour.
What's the face?
That is why we bringing back Jonah.
How you
We
mean?
will deliver. We will deliver.
Everybody.
We will deliver. We will deliver.
You don't know.
People wanted change, so we give them change. Now it's big horrors. They wanted dollars.
Unemployment high, poor people up slow. For this country,
What?
growth and the sea must go.
Oh, you
We are
mean?
the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We are
Everybody.
the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver.
Grenada in Shida is our.
We will
The
deliver.
house.
Poverty rising by the hour.
NNP will
What?
You don't see everybody sour.
What's your face?
That is why we bringing back Jonah.
Every
We will
time.
deliver.
Smile
We
again.
will deliver. We will
Smile
deliver.
again.
We will deliver.
4 years no investment, can't see no betterment. Only promising, but nothing happening.
Well, how me country run is of great concern. Grenada fall down, so let Jonah return.
We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We are the NNP.
How you mean?
We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We will
Want to see?
Poverty rising by the hour.
NNP will
Things bad.
You don't see everybody sour.
We will
What's face?
That is why we bringing back Jonah. We will deliver. We will deliver. We will deliver. We will deliver.
Bola made MLP and Bola. Paris Modest, Boston and Delma.
Who again? Who again?
Nimrod, Clement and Oliver.
Who again?
Clifton, Bowen, Alexandra.
15?
Nicky still W, me brother.
I said 15.
And bring back that Cosmic Prime Minister.
Yo, yo.
We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP.
How you mean?
NNP will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP.
NNP. Walk to them. Walk.
Right now, Grenada on fire. Everybody start to perspire. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. 840 million. Let's stop with juice on the island. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they support the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. What job they get so they eat. That is why they lose every seat. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. High praises for we performance. NNP we have the endurance. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. More private sector investment. Everywhere is more development. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC main position is to be the opposition. position. Them fellas not ready to lead. All they have on the mind is greed. If you want the country move on in a positive direction, let your vote remain the same. Vote for NNP again. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Right now, Grenada on fire. Everybody start to perspire. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. 840 million. Let's stop with juice on the island. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they support the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One time they get to the eat. That is why they lose every seat. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. High praises for we performance, and then we have the endurance. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. More private sector investment. Everywhere is more development. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they support the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One time they get so they eat. That is why they lose every seat.
For there is a wind of change, it blowing through the Spice Island.
And to the people, Mr. PM, don't play with the Grenadian people, cause the win is turning around. That's all. Like all you did, only plan how to win. And after that, all you can do are thing. At all, poor people balling, they can't eat a meal. So what? It's like all you deaf and can't hear that still. Still waiting for one project to take off. Like it's done in Nazim, how them could start. But prepare yourself and bang your belly, cause the wind turn around, heading back for me. So I said the wind of change is blowing in the next direction. Man, the wind of change is blowing back where he came from. Hear the people out on the street. We want kids, we want kids. Man, they say they're tired, they can't take it. We want kids, we want kids. Man, the country balling it's sick. We want kids, we want kids. So they need a doctor to come fix it. We want kids, we want kids. Hear the young men out on the block. Man, they say they're tired of the old talk. Listen to them. Every day is blah, 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 blah. That alone. And they can't see action to back it up. Oh, Lord. Woo! I say be careful, the wind turning around. Be careful. Woo! PM like the whole country on a halt. Like your cabinet brain lock in a vault. It looks so. Teachers pondering on what they go do. The pushing program, or you cut that too. Poor people, sir. 600 million as they say you have. Why you still leaving poor people to starve? No talk about corruption anymore. Don't fool on yourself, cause the people know. They know, they know. So I said the wind of change is blowing in the next direction. Man, the wind of change is blowing back where he came from. Hear the people out on the streets. We want kids, we want kids. Man, they say they're tired, they can't.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, all of you listening locally, regionally, and internationally. Of course, once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I will be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
Listen to them. They say they're tired of run around. Listen to them. Still waiting for some good to come.
Keep getting tempted to say until the 12 o'clock hour, you know, but oh gosh, 4 hours.
Be careful, sir. Don't play with it.
Good night to those of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM, broadcasting out there in lovely St. Patrick.
Listen, sir.
Good night to you, Mr. Andre Donald, and the entire crew up there at Real FM. And of course, a special good night to my buddy out there, We Noise Radio, Wade. Wade, I hope I hear from you early tonight. I find just want to call when man had to run. Yeah, that's when you're calling. Call me early tonight. Yeah, you, nice, right.
People know they live like bat. Friend to see ya meet a man when he pass. They say they can't wait for another year. Keep playing your deaf and all you can't hear. Listen, but I said the wind of change, it blowing in the next direction. Man, the wind of change, it blowing back way.
Trying to understand why are some people so afraid. Yeah, I realize more and more you're hearing those NDCites out there. Yeah, about saying all kind of things about the NNP. If the NNP is weak, then you don't have to be in the street shouting it. You don't have to be making a total inconsiderate idiot of yourself, shouting that the NNP weak. And if the NNP is weak, you're supposed to be glad. You're supposed to be happy. It means that the NNP is no threat to your political organization. You are not supposed to be in any form or format upset. But I find when I look at some of your statements on the social media platforms, and when I listen to some of you and the wanton aggression that you're calling radio programs and television programs, etc. with, when I see some of the statements that you make on the street or so on, I get to realize you all acting as though you all are lost. Yeah, you all operating as though people are afraid of something. I don't know if the rest of you all realize it, but I find the people within the NDC right now, yeah, those loudmouth ones who are out there making noise, trying to defend all the nonsense that the NDC is doing right now, and making a very bad job of it as well. Those who have been trying to defend everything that the NDC is doing right now, yeah, and they're trying to do it and they're making all sort of nonsense statements and that kind of thing, and I'm trying to understand, why are they so upset? Why are they eating up themselves like that? Yeah? Why is it necessary, for instance, if your party is so secure and you're so strong and you all believe that no matter what, the following election, the next election, that you all are going to win, and you believe that the NNP is fractured and the NNP mash up and NNP day is done and so on, why do you have to pass in town and harass people like Yami? Why you have to pass and throw word for hands? If she party done and she party weak, then all you ain't supposed to be afraid of her. So all you ain't have to pass and throw word for her and so on. All you ain't have to wait until all you see activists of the NNP passing and throwing word for them. You all supposed to be happy. You all supposed to be glad. You all not supposed to be upset. You all supposed to be some of the happiest people in Grenada right now. But if you're doing otherwise, it means that you are afraid of the new National Party. And let me say something to NNP supporters out there. Remain focused on the task at hand. The task at hand is the reorganization of our political machinery throughout the island. That is what they are afraid of. They know that we are reorganizing. Yeah? So they are afraid because they know it's one term NDC governments does spend and then they does go in spectacular fashion. So they know that. And they know when they go, they does be out for a while. Yeah, they does take a one term and then they does be out for a while. Yeah? So, I want you all to remain focused. Don't get into the back and forth with them. If me who is me, doesn't get in the back and forth with them, some of them talking is best that they just go and pray. Because that might have helped them better. They could say whatever they want. I really can't tell you what some of them do say. Because you see, I have a stupidity filter. So when stupid people talking, I doesn't hear. Because I have a stupidity filter, so it just doesn't go through. Right? So I'm saying to you all, remember the task at hand. The task at hand is the reorganization of the party structures in each and every constituency, each and every polling division throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And not just those, but outside of Grenada as well. Those of you that are regional in Trinidad and Barbados and Jamaica and so on, yes, in Kitts and so on, those of you who are out there in Canada, those of you that are out there in the UK, those of you that are out there right now in the United States, and we know that's where the bulk of you all are. The task at hand right now is the reorganization of the new National Party. Right? That is the task that's at hand right now. And we have to stick to the task. Don't let anybody pull us out with any kind of thing. And I think some of our leaders get in and between. Some of you all just get a little shaky. And when I say a little shaky, is that somebody decide that they want to twist the conversation in Grenada away from the fact that the government of Grenada are treating vendors like dogs. That's how the government of Grenada treating them. They're treating them like dogs. And not just like dogs if you have a dog home and you're cooking food and you feed it to them. They're treating them like if you're no stray dog on the street that you just mash, move. Every time the dog try to settle some way, somebody running it and chasing it, move from here. That is how this government is treating the vendors. That is how they intend to treat the people in the allied health care. And you hear so many people who seem they come across as illiterate because they seem not to understand that on the 9th of December, it was the NDC government that made the amendments to this law. They seem not to understand that later in December, around the 22nd of December, it was Jonathan Gayton Lacrette, Minister of Health, that signed the SRO, the new rules and so in relation to these professionals. Yeah? They seem not to understand that nobody have a problem with what is being done. The problem is with how it is being done. Let me say that again because you see to have some people, they seem to have a problem understanding English. So I'm speaking it in the best Grenadian Trinidadian accent that I can use. I don't have any other accent that I could use efficiently. I might be able to go into a little bit of Jamaican dialect and maybe some Bajan from my great-grandparents and them. But as it is right now, I want to stick to the one I usually speak to, which is the Grenadian Trinidadian accent I have. No one is against what is being done. What we are against is the way that it is being done. Had the new National Party not spoken out on behalf of those categories of workers in the allied healthcare services, had the new National Party not spoken out about what is taking place there, those individuals would have been forced to try and meet a deadline of 8 weeks with something that's going to take 3 months to 6 months to complete. So you're telling people that have to complete a process that you know fully well is going to take between 3 to 6 months, that they have to complete that process in just about 2 months. Impossible. And the next thing that we're saying is simply this. Through the GDB, because we realize the GDB is like the older folks among you, those who are 50 and above. Yeah, they ain't older, but the older folks among you would remember Everybody's Store. Because GDB come like Everybody's Store and also everybody could go there. Right? Because if man could go in and get $2,60,423.77, right? And other one could go and get 1.7 million, right? And others could get what they get too. If that can happen, then yeah, I think that a barber should be able to go and get a little 4,000, get a little 5,000 to go and sort out himself so that he's properly registered and everything and licensed. The same should be the case for someone who is doing a barber shop or a nail technician and so on. Yeah? And I would think that the government, because we know they have friends and even executive members that are involved in the insurance industry, we would hope that they have that conversation with the insurance agencies here in Grenada to see that the type of insurance that doesn't exist in Grenada, that they need to exist to cover all the points that has to be covered for a person to be licensed, that sort of insurance is offered in Grenada. But as usual, they want to do things, as we just say, what? Before, behind. So that is how your Prime Minister could find himself on a Monday morning in the market 6:30 saying he's going and meet vendors. What vendors are you going and meet in our market square 6:30 and 6:30 on a Monday? You know? Market vendors go out on the Saturday, right? They was there on the Friday, the Saturday. Vendors you meeting on a Monday. It go have one or two, yeah, you meet one or two, but 6:30 on a Monday. But again, photo opportunity to be able to go and say, well, we met with the market vendors. They will not be lying they met with 1 or 2 market vendors, but they did not realistically meet with market vendors. And market vendors are one. They inside already. They already in the facility. What about all the people that's still selling around on the streets there and wondering if today is the last day, and then they come out tomorrow and they're not sure if they should set up, and they see somebody set up, somebody brave, and they set up first, and they try and they set up. So they start to sell and they realize, yeah, well, we're getting through for today, boy. Let me go ahead. But remember, they tell us we had to come off the street already. But we ain't hear from them. Where we going? We're not sure, because we know in a month's time, we're going to have different things to pay, because we have children that graduating. So we go want to put on we nice dandan, go buy one of the hairdressers, and them they're trying to stress out and so, and we want to sort out ourselves because we want to go to we graduation, or we nephew graduation, or we grandchild graduation. They want to put on a nice dandan, they want to put on a nice frock and thing, and they want to go and nice up their hair and so, right? Visit the barber, shave up them ladies now, they're going and shave up the eyelash and the eyebrow, sorry. They're going to shave up the eyebrow and all of that. Nice up themselves, line up themselves nice. Because we know that that is what is going to be happening in roughly a month time when all the graduations and things start happening and you're heading down that road. And then the preparations begin from June for the school term that's going to start in September. But yet still the people who trying to make the money to deal with those things now on the streets, they're in a level of uncertainty. And we know they like to leave people in a state of uncertainty, because we know the mental torture and anguish that was placed upon the Marketing and National Importing Board workers for several weeks, when they just don't know what was happening with them. That was mental torture, mental and emotional torture. And right now here they're still trying to sort out something in relation to the pension. So the monies that they pay into the pension to see if they could get that back and all, they're trying. I think a promise was made to them that in 2 months that issue would be sorted out. Well, the 2 months gone, that issue has not been sorted out. They want to know what's going on with their money. And while that is the situation, we're hearing about other situations with other category of workers who are afraid to speak, but they're sending the message to me. They're afraid to put it up on Facebook and so that they ain't get paid. So you have people working at the general hospital, including doctors and nurses, that have not been paid. In some instances for over 2 months. Afraid to talk. They're sending the information. Tell Sheldon. So they come in and they meet your local place and they pass local information. Sheldon, I ain't get paid. You understand? I ain't get paid. You're hearing that it have teachers in the same category too that was getting paid through the credit union, and for some reason, some of them did not get their bi-monthly. Yeah? And they're afraid to talk out because they realize victimization run the route in this place. The moment you open your mouth and you say anything positive towards the New National Party, a member of the New National Party, or anything that could be perceived as against the government of Grenada, is like you have to be afraid to talk in this place. I'm saying, me afraid to talk, as saying what I have to say, who vex the faces they own, and none of them will ever be able to shut me up. The only person could shut me up is the Most High, and when he ready for me, he go take me. I ain't afraid that. Whenever he ready for me, he go take me. Well, I'm supposed to be afraid for when the Almighty ready to take me. When he ready to take me, he go take me. My mother and father and all of them waiting on the other side for me, so you feel I'll be lonely over there. When the Almighty ready, he gonna take me. So me ain't afraid that. But some of them, they want to shut you up anytime you try to talk. So I listened to Honorable Emlyn Pear this morning speaking on behalf of poor and vulnerable people in this country. And you have some of them under the live. And you know them, you know. You could know them. If a nurse does be under there, I know why she go and find some work to do in the hospital. Yes, Nurse Joseph, you like to call people all kind of thing. One of these days you won't get it, you know. Believe me, when I say you'll get it, the lawyers know your address. Because you like to say things about people that you don't know. But you're jumping up for your party. Why ain't go and find some work to do in the hospital? That's what the government paying you for. Not to be under GBN Live. That is why all you're bad. All you may feel somebody afraid. All you don't have the intellectual capacity to be able to interact and converse with people like us. I don't have it. So all you have to go down in the gutter. Who is thief and who is this and who is that? All you feel people don't know about all your character too or what? All your character ain't clean enough. And if we wanted to be nasty, I could have come and do a whole program on you alone, Nurse Joseph. So don't play like all is no saint and all you jumping under all kind of thing. There are many of you that play insane that don't know that it have people out here that have all your fight. We know about all you. But you're looking to shut up everybody. As soon as somebody talking on behalf of poor and vulnerable people, you're looking to shut them up. Look, Mayday. Brian Grimes, the president of the Public Workers Union, doing the job that he was selected to do, defend the rights of workers. You have workers that were fired in Carriacou. Yeah? Just sent home, which is wrong. They wasn't given a hearing. They weren't given their holiday pay, etc. He's speaking on behalf of them because since they have been sent home to now, and that's since just after the election last year to now, the Public Workers Union has been trying to have a proper meeting with the permanent secretary in Carriacou to discuss this issue, and they can't get the meeting because the permanent secretary apparently just ain't interested in meeting on that issue. In fact, he just don't care. I'm saying it as it is. Like he just does not care. So if he come, he go to the meeting online, you know. Not to say he had to leave Carriacou and come down to attend a meeting online. So he's just sign in and answer the questions and try. He ain't interested in that. They're gone. But you have other people who did the same thing that those workers that were sent home in Carriacou are accused of. You have other people who did the exact same thing. The only difference was the color of the t-shirt they was wearing. That's the only difference. And those people, instead of getting the same treatment, you know what they get? Promotions. That is hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy. So they can't come and tell me anything, you know. One thing they just come and say over and over and over and over. But they cannot deny anything that we say here. So when we say that your prime minister left the country with a large delegation, so it's the prime minister, his personal secretary, his press secretary, and a cameraman to go to the UK for the coronation. Yeah? So we could understand the prime minister, we could understand a security officer must go with him, so we don't have a problem with that. I ain't had time to name or shame or anything the security officer. He doing his work. Right? But was it absolutely necessary to carry the press secretary? Was it absolutely necessary to carry a cameraman all the way there? And the cameraman couldn't even go in Westminster to take a photograph. But you take him from Grenada and you bring him up there. Because why? Facebook. Instagram. That is what they care about. Oh, here he is meeting with this one and here he is meeting with that one. I hope that we have a press conference very soon, Mr. Prime Minister, or a national address where you inform us of the tens of millions of dollars that you got through your interactions during those meetings at the coronation and from Dubai and the other meetings that you've been having all over the place, jumping around like a kangaroo in heat. Tell us the tens of millions of dollars that you have gotten for the people of Grenada. Tell us the tens of millions of dollars that you get for us. That is what we want to hear. But you all had cabinet meeting this week. You were out. The GDB man and the one about Van, both of them was outside of the country over the weekend and so on. Everybody come back in. We had a press release about 2-3 weeks ago about the MP for St. John went out to some high-level meeting. Well, I hope she bring back high-level money because we want to know. But you all have imposed, it seems, a blockade on providing information to the Grenadian people on the things that have interest to them. So as long as we continue talking about the GDB loan and you're all afraid that somebody in the media is going to question you, Mr. Prime Minister, if you put yourself at their disposal, that they are going to question you in relation to that GDB loan, you're not making yourself available. You know the only way they're making themselves available? They call in town hall meeting, they get in all the supporters, they ram the town hall meeting so that other people would be afraid to go and ask that question. It's not the media asking the questions. And then they're giving people the questions and tell them go and ask that. That's what they're doing. Yeah? And then if they do have a media engagement, they want to say, oh, the NNP does have media engagement with some people. They having the media engagement with who they want, when they want, and they're guiding everything. Yeah? Dr. Mitchell had a media engagement. He had 3 media people there. They asked him any question they want to ask. None of them were told what questions. They just asked what questions. But the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister. Who is the one that's supposed to be putting himself out in the media? You ain't hearing him, you ain't seen him. The NNP had to come and talk about the vendors before he decided that he going to go and try and see some vendors. Well, we know, maybe that's the first time he go in the market, maybe go to see what it look like. I don't know if it's the vendors he went to see or he went to see what the market look like. I don't know. But if that time in the morning he go, it had to be the market that he went and see, not the vendors. But it had to be the NNP that coming out and talk on those issues. And still talking on issues like the 150. And they want us to drop those issues. So as soon as you call a radio program or you say something, they want to jump down your throat. Oh, that last caller, they have to know what they're calling about. And they're calling on this and they're calling on that. Come on, man. At least if you're coming, come with a proper, sensible and truthful argument in relation to something that somebody has said. Oh, it's the NNP that get rid of that and the NNP this and the NNP that. And the NNP is not in power. We know that. We accept that. We ain't doing like the NDC the last time and saying people thief election, you know. All you win, be happy, be joyful. Dance around and say hooray, hooray. All you win. Why are you upset so? Why are you vexed so? Why are you vicious so? Where's all your problem? Why you acting so? Folks, let me say a good night to those of you under the live. I have not done that yet. Let me see there. Christopher, Cindy, Antonito, Ingrid, Ann, Cicely, Kenny, Linda, Imelda, Francois, Kathy, Albert. Good night to you. Yeah. Let me see. Wallan, I see you there. Norma, good night. Yoland, I see you there as well. Ann Jackson, Dr. Pancho, I am not hearing you. Kish Walcott, good night to you. The Grenada Watchman, I see you watching inside here, man. Shauna, I see you there as well. I'm going through Carol, good night to you. Sherma, yeah, I seen you there as well, girl. Noki, what's up, girl? Long time no see. Right, Cassandra, good night to you, and Gil, and Ingrid, Cynthia, Cicely, Charmaine, good night to all of you. And over on the YouTube, let me see, Bev, good night. Alan, good night to you. Devin, Wolfgang, Sky, let me see, Beavis, I know you're always around. Gemma, good night. Antonito, and let me see, Kelvin, bye, and see you for a little while, you know, yeah, my partner, yeah. Gloria, good night to you. Nellis, Sharon, Robert, yeah, good night to you. Let me see, Good Life, I know you're always in. Right, Anastasia, good night to you. Joyce, I know that you're on. Yeah, I see you send your message there. Joyce, good night to you. Selma, good night to you. And Derek and Maud and Mayana and Saralyn. Let me see, Ibrahim, good night. Angie, good night to you. Jakeem and Phyllis, Marilyn. Peggy, good night to you. And to Peggy, the other Peggy, yes, 2 Peggy's, eh? So good night to you as well, Peggy. Yeah, the one in town, you know me. Right, Miriam, good night to you. Stefan, and let me see. I'm seeing all of you here. Faithlin, I'm seeing you there. And Chaitan, Mr. Chaitan, good night to you. And Wilfred, all right. Lystra, good night to you. I don't think I saw Matthew. Matthew, good night. I know that you're listening. And Bernadette, good night to you as well. All right, yeah. A lot of them, they're balling with their mouth closed. We go dead.
We go dead. We go dead. Oh God, we go dead. We go dead. We go dead. We go dead. Oh God, we go dead. Is the cry in the country? The people them angry. We go dead. We go dead. And they balling for murder. They can't take the pressure. We go dead. We go dead.
Folks, we're opening the phone lines early tonight. Yeah, 440-7377.
We go dead.
And 347-329-3101.
Man, we can't buy no grocery. We don't.
Remember, this is the same people that was speaking about freedom of speech and everybody is free to speak. But you see, if you have read Animal Farm, or you could look at the movie. The movie is pretty accurate. There's one cartoon version that's pretty accurate. You could probably pull it up on YouTube and so. That's pretty accurate to the book itself by Orson Welles. When they say everybody, the everybody means all of them, not all of us. The everybody is all of them. You see, like if you're on a bus and you say everybody, it means everybody on the bus, not everybody on the bus and outside. So what they are saying when they say everybody, they're speaking to a subset, not the whole. They're speaking only to a subset of and about a subset of individuals. So when they say everybody, everybody is free to speak. They're saying the nastiest things about people, and some of them does feel like you don't know their voice. Some of them does feel like you don't know who they are. Yeah? Some of them does feel that people don't know things and can't say things. But we have a bit of decency. We ain't going down them road and them day. We want to talk them thing day. I wouldn't even hint at some of them thing and them. Not a know for a fact. I wouldn't even hint at some of them thing and them. Yeah? Because I think it's more important to spend our time, again, calling on the government to return the 150 to those poor people. Is more important calling on the government to provide some sort of facility for the allied healthcare workers so that they will be able to complete the process that we all agree they should complete. We all agree, whether NNP, NDC, everybody, we agree that they should complete that process. There's some tweaking that needs to take place in relation to the charges and so in relation to the different, you have to tweak that. Them kind of thing, I find that to tell a person to go to jail for 5 years or they have to pay how much how much 100,000 and so, I find that outside. We have a call online. Good night.
Yes, Shalom. Good evening, brother. How are you?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
Thanks be to God. Good.
All right.
Yeah, just want to just continue to extend sympathy to Brother Nolan Cox. I was able to view the live stream of the funeral today. It was really a moving experience, and I really saw the grief of the family, and my heart really moved, with real compassion for them. So I want to just let him know and his family that, they're supported in prayer, and people are really caring about them and the situation. And he did ask that we stand with the family for the next few months because it is a difficult time for them. So I want to continue to extend sympathies, prayerful best wishes to them, and pray God continue to, heal them and bring them through this, and that he'll have a testimony of the goodness of God in time to come. For yourself too, Sheldon, since the attack on you, I was very concerned, and incidentally, I just felt moved that day to think of you in a prayerful way, because for some reason I just felt that your life is in danger. If not your life, but some sort of physical harm would come to you, and only to hear the next day that you were attacked. So I want to ask God's blessings and protection upon you, and ask our listeners and everybody to really pray for you and your well-being, that of your family. And I hear sometimes say you're not mobile, and anything, any way we can make some assistance to you, maybe to help you get maybe whatever part. In any way we can help you, because you're doing a valuable job, a great contribution you're making. And I think it is incumbent on us to assist you in any way we can, because you're doing human service to us and to the nation by extension. So, brother, God bless you, and thank you for all you've done and you're doing, okay?
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. And honestly, if people have to help, I prefer they find an elder lady right now. I go fight it, I prefer they find an elder lady right now that cannot get her medication, and what you would have helped me with, you help her. I prefer you find a person who is disabled and has been bumped off from the SEED program, and you help them. Yeah? Then you try to help me. I'll struggle, go sort myself out. But there are many people that really, really need out here right now. That's why we have the thing on the Talking Points page so that people could donate and so on, It's to help in situations like that. From time to time, people would tell you situations. You would hear of single parents. Not all the time is a single mother, single parent. Sometimes it's a single father. You hear of the situation, the electricity about to cut off, and you might be able to assist them to keep it on. Yeah? You hear of a situation, child sick, they have to bring the child to a doctor, you might be able to help. That's why we have the donation part there on the Talking Points page, both on YouTube and Facebook. You click on the link, and it's pretty self-explanatory from there, so that we can help those people and so. All right? So if people could help, I prefer to help others than they help me. The prayers are taking prayers for so. Believe me, are taking prayers. Pray for me. All right? In the same way that I will pray for everybody as well. Don't just pray for me. Pray for everybody. All right? Because we know that God listens to sincere prayers. All right? So pray for me, pray for everybody. All right? But in the helping thing, help as many people. You might have a next door neighbor. It might be somebody that you know the situation is a bit desperate. And even if it's at 20, you could get them so that they could get something to eat. Yeah? At least do that. All right? Nice. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, good night.
Yeah, I was listening last night shortly after 9, but the radio went off.
I am not sure why that happened. I was not aware.
Well, they were just, you was went off while you say you're taking a break to come back, while you say you have something important to talk about shortly after 9.
I am not aware why I'm not aware that happened. I'm not sure. No, I don't know what happened there.
The real radio station is off from around 9:15 till 10. After 10, well, he didn't come back.
Okay. Okay, my friend. I'll find out what took place there. But you can listen us online. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I was unaware that the radio went off. So I'm very sorry for that. I'll find out what took place there. I'll check my logs on this end to see if it was a problem. And sometimes it's not the radio station problem. Sometimes it could be a problem on my end. So I'll double check to see. Good night to you, Amisha, and good night. You're off to bed. I know you have to go to work early in the morning, so you're off to bed. I know you're going to listen over the program tomorrow. You'll hear when I said good night to you. Yes, indeed, folks. 440-7377. You can call us on WhatsApp. You can call us directly as well. And hey, the historian, good night to you, sir. I know you're locked in. Good night to you. Yeah, and you can also call us on 349. What am I saying? 347-329-3101. Yeah. 347-329-3101. Yeah, that hot sun today have me, boy. Oh, gosh, yeah. Folks, in your prayers too, always remember Senator Cox and his family. It has not been an easy couple weeks for Senator the Honorable Norland Cox. All right, so please remember him in your prayers.
We go dead.
Let me say a special good night to the listeners out there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Hope that you all are having a wonderful, at least a pleasant night tonight. You know, after the sad activity today, that funeral and so on, I know that some of you are still a bit down. So at least, you know.
They're in this country, trouble and misery. Will somebody help us on that ceiling?
Now someone is saying that they're getting me low again. I'm wondering what's happening there. In some instances, folks, it might be your device. So you just have to check your device first. So let me see if that's the only message I'm getting. Yeah, that's the only message that I'm getting. Yeah, right, in relation to that. So again, let me speak to you all. Be careful. Let's take this call and then I'll come back to that one. We have a caller. Good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon. How are you?
I am quite fine, my dear. How are you doing?
You're good. I'm good. This is Meryl George. She's speaking right here now.
Hey, Meryl.
Yes. Oh, my God.
I hope you're behaving.
You would not believe that. I spoke to Andy. You know they had a meet and greet here, right?
Well, I hear it's meet and
I was
eat.
like, you know what? They had a meet and greet, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to go in that because, you know, I'm an NNP, so I don't want to go. But man, just let me go and just question that bitch. You know, that guy told me that the money that he got from the NDC, the first of the money that he got from the NNP, he got it in 6 months. And he got the NDC one in a year. And I was like, are you sure on what you're telling me? He said, I'm so sure. You know what? These boys and them have no guts. and they have no belly. And the guy started getting on Sheldon. I couldn't believe him.
I did not know guts to
I
go
was
in
like-
GDB when I was in government. I'm telling you that. I really didn't have that guts and I didn't have that belly to go in GDB when I was in government.
Oh my God. You understand? And listen to me. You know, about the people in the market, this boy put that blame on the ministry. He said that the ministry is who did that. They have no idea of that, what happened. So I want to believe, I was listening to you earlier, and I want to believe that because you guys bring it out so fast, and, you know, they just get a chance to blame it on the ministry. You see
But
how
you
these
see-
people wicked?
But you see, it's childish. It's very childish
my
that
God.
every time something positive happens, they take foot. Okay, the Mount Kuma road, that road that was open there, that takes you
Right.
right. Because that is a proper thing, everything nice. They take full credit for it. We do the road, we do that. The traffic lights that
Oh,
are
yeah.
going up right now, the markings have been placed in the road, the traffic lights have been hung up, the cameras have been put in
Uh-huh.
place, and so you're gonna hear them trying to take all the credit for that. Oh, you don't see thing that we government do,
yeah.
we put traffic lights, everything. I've seen the
Oh,
jet
yeah.
bridges, the bridges for the airport,
Uh-huh.
so that you could
Right.
come straight off the plane into the building. And so they have arrived in Grenada and they've been taken down to the airport now to be put
Oh
up. And
my
so
gosh.
you're gonna see them try to say,
You
no,
know-
it's them doing that. Because seen all coming here tonight, there were several trucks
Oh.
passing, going back and forth. The work down there is
Mhm.
taking place at a rapid pace. You're gonna hear them try to say it's them do it. But when something negative like
Well,
the take a 150 or so, they blaming NMP.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I even told my dad, because my dad was getting that type of money too. And he keep on calling me, you know, and ask me for stuff. And I tell him what is it. I say, please do not continue begging me. I say, you is my father. But still, stop begging me. Let me do what I got to do for you. Because at the end of the day, I spoke to you and you didn't listen. You know?
And you see, the thing is this, and folks may say, okay, she said that, but the thing is, I don't think a lot of people, they think because somebody's in the U.S. that they flooded with
Right.
money. And they don't understand.
You have it all.
They must see one of all your pay slip and see what happened when after all you pay state tax, federal tax, and all
Thank
other
you.
union dues and all of that. By the time that pass across all your salary, whap, it's 40%
Yes,
at least
of
gone.
course. Sometimes we can't, Shannon, sometimes we can't even pay our bill. We can't pay the rent. And we could be on the street. We could be, and if we're on that street, you would not even want to believe it. How we living in here? You understand? Them happy in Grenada, they could build up a little shack somewhere. Do you think we could do that here? We got to get
Nah,
heat.
I know it's
So
difficult.
we have to pay our rent. It's
I haven't
crazy.
lived up there,
Even
but I know it's
Ian Courtney-
difficult.
Ian Courtney, Ivan Courtney,
Yeah.
I called, I said, girl, we have to go there. Ivan was like, Merle, I don't want to go around these people. I said, Ivan, we got
That's
to go
why
there.
Yvonne was calling me. That girl don't easy, you know. She killing
She
herself
was-
laughing
I
at you.
said to her, I said, call Shannon. She was like, she keep on calling you, but like you declined the call. And you said you're
Yeah.
going to call tomorrow.
You see, usually if
I
you're
was
on a
like,
bus
oh
or
my
something,
God, I'm sorry because
yeah.
what happened is I was trying to, I had him on the edge, and then she was trying to video, but we couldn't. So we wanted you to hear what he was saying. So that was she was actually calling you, so you could hear what he's saying.
I couldn't take the call where I was. I couldn't take it.
Wow. I was like, I went there with my green jersey, right?
hmm
And everybody's like, what are you doing here? I said, excuse me? I said, I'm a green. Trust me, it was, I mean, like, I wish you'd hear that guy. And I questioned him on so many different things. Like,
Mhm.
a lot of stuff I question him on, and everything he tells me is lies. Just lie, lie, lie.
And
So
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's one of the reasons why he maybe called the Prime Minister, and he maybe tell him, well, run down there and in the market on Monday because people in America are concerned.
And again, I
Yeah.
know it's not an easy thing for you all in America there right now, and especially when you hear what is going on with people down here, when you hear what's
It's
going on with the market
crazy.
vendors and you hear what's going on with the hairdressers, because these are your family members. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
they're out
And I
of
was a-
employment,
I was
is
a
you they're
market
coming by,
vendor.
you they're calling.
Oh, yeah. I
You-
tell him what I said, what's happening in the market hurts me because I was a market vendor. And you would not believe, I tell him, I said, let me tell you something. I said, I was the first one that got out in front by right. And when I go there, people start coming. And while we there, police started racing us. And we called for a meeting with Mr. Kit Mitchell. And as soon as we called that man, God bless his soul, that man was right there to have a meeting with us. And he said, you know what? If that's the case, you guys could go back there. We're going to find some place for you. And I think that's why some of them get that place in there, because he was fighting to get a place. You know?
And there's several things that were done. One, they had blocked off the street. They used to block off Granby Street on a Friday so people could vend there and so. And then you had the situation where you had the vendors over on Melville Street over by KFC, and where people are parking now. They had people with the booth there. So you always tried, and then you had people over in the stadium. So there was always an attempt to at least not just shut a person down, but give them somewhere that they can go until you sort out a facility for them.
Exactly. They had a children to feed. They have diapers to buy. They have this to do. I mean, sometimes that person, as you say, it have a lot of how should I say, mothers looking after their children for themselves, and fathers doing the same thing, and I think that's the only thing and only ways they could help themselves. These people is crazy. I don't know. I could never support these people, Sheldon. Never.
I hear you.
Never.
I hear. I'm in the same boat. You can't hate people and expect me to support you. You can't hate people. When you look in the New National Party, you see people that love people and care about people. Because who's talking out on behalf of the people? It's we are the ones that are talking out. And I'm going to play something for you just now. I'm going to play something in a little while. And you're going to tell me if that is the same people that take the 150 from people. I'm going to play it in a little while when we finish talk.
Okay, yeah.
All right, my dear? So, in fact, let me go and play it now. We're going to talk again.
Okay.
All right, Meryl?
Yeah.
All right. And tell Yvonne hello for me. I know she's listening, but you tell her hello for me.
I will. She's listening, yes.
All right, my dear.
Have a good day. Love you.
All right, love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, folks. And you know what? Before I go on to something else, let me play something for you all, because I want you all to tell me if this is the same people, if these are the same people that take the 150 away from the poor and vulnerable.
Too many of our seniors can't afford to pay for their medication. Too much of our seniors can't afford the medication. Too much of our seniors can't even afford to survive on the seed money that they give them every month. Too much of our seniors are suffering, sisters and brothers. And we as young people, if policies are not put in place to uplift us and to take us forward, very soon we will be in the same position. Because the reality is many of our young people are, as I've said, unemployed or underemployed. And if you're not contributing towards a pension, then you know what will happen. So the decision is clear for all to see and for all to make.
So, folks, yeah. In fact, you know what? I wonder if I'll hear what the individual was saying. He was saying that the seed money that people were getting, that was before election, eh? Let's take a caller and then we will come back to it again, man. Yeah, let's take this caller here. Let's see if we could get a caller on the WhatsApp. I think they've been calling for a little while now. Let's see if we could get that answered. No, WhatsApp is playing around these days, you know. Hello, good night. Hello?
Hey, Sheldon.
Hi, sir.
Hey, Sheldon. Good night.
Good night, brother.
Let's hold on. Let's give me a minute. Let me load on
minute?
that. Let me just pause that. A second. Let me pause the next phone.
You're getting a first.
Yes.
I know about a second.
Boy, he was talking to me ex-mother-in-law the other day. Are they listening to you? He was talking to me ex-mother-in-law from the States. Good night, Miss
You
Mary.
want to show,
How are
you want to show off? You want to show off he was in
What
thing?
you gonna do? What you gonna do?
You want to
They
show
gonna do? Are they married to his daughter? Are they married to his daughter?
Call directly.
Is that
Don't try to
secret?
show off. Don't try to show off on talking points. Call directly. Talk straight to the point. Don't try that one.
Yes, they might touch it, but these people are doing some bad NNPites, but I don't say nothing bad about NNP, especially the grandmother, the mother and the grandmother. But I don't say nothing bad about Dr. Keats, Boy, don't say nothing bad
But
about
watch.
Dr. Keats, boy.
You know I told you. I told you had to call me tonight, huh?
Yes.
But all you do easy. All you mean, all you go and open the health center on all your own.
Well, of course. Next thing I protect it as this.
Let me say as special. Hold on. Let me say as, and you see she messaged, look, she's son-in-law.
Me good mother-in-law. Why good?
Let me say this. Watch. And I know that the Honorable Clarice Modest is most likely listening. If she's not engaged in an activity, she's most likely listening. And I want her to give me a call too. Because I realize all you go and all you open the place. Yeah? All you go and all you open, and that is wonderful. That is absolutely. Because we don't want nobody who they could never win St. Mark's seat. Come and play is them that do the health center. All you get a nice health center. All you nearly get a mini hospital there.
And so I want to beating them. I'll take care of the thing, boy.
Yeah.
Take care of that, And don't let people come and say that it's their thing. Take care of the thing. Otherwise, you go here. I think they're opening it tomorrow at Thursday. I say we have to flog the place.
What do you mean they opening there? We opened that already. They don't want to go back. We opened that on the weekend. Honorable Clarice Modest went and opened the health center on the weekend. We don't need them again.
Well,
we
you
don't
see,
need
me
them.
I put the thing on the talking. Me I put the American on the talking points crew.
Yeah.
Let me put the
According to Jill, that is guts and that is belly.
That is guts and that is belly. Why they don't come out with guts and belly and say the money they take in GDP? They're talking about guts and talking belly. Why watch?
Folks, in case you want to talk here, I'm just sorry I don't have the pictures and the video loaded. I have pictures and video. I'll ensure that we play that at least tomorrow night. It's kind of difficult for me to load it while I'm doing the program. But I'll load it tomorrow so folks could see. But the Honorable Clark, and that's what we need to do. Yeah, all like the road in Mount Kuman thing. We should have just go pull the ribbon and cut the ribbon for ourselves and take the picture. We open the road, it's we own. We that we own. And I like that Auntie Clarice. You just go and you show them who is boss. That is yours.
That's right.
Maybe you come in and open on Thursday. Open what? Wait about that.
Since in 1984, NNP, St. Mark's owned by NNP, and we ain't giving up. We hatching them, we burning them, we burying them.
What? They're lucky if we don't go and turn on the traffic light for them too, you know. You can turn on the traffic light for them, you know, because you know they will come to say that is theirs, eh?
Right there, so we have to take in front.
Yes.
And say that I waiting what they didn't know. They wasn't around, they didn't know how we negotiate. And let me tell you something. With the project in Victoria, when we did make the first negotiation, we draw the first plan and everything like that. All that sort of it was missing. The first plan was missing. How it come it missing? They try to sabotage the thing, but we go back and we make some negotiation, we draw over the plan and everything, and then how the thing come a bit late, you know. Otherwise, this thing they finish.
If I could tell all you I love Clarice Modest, say I love that woman, I love Dr. Modest. That is what I want to see. What all you want to play Fred? Go and open them thing. Anytime you finish, go and open it. Yeah.
But they give her invitation.
Eh?
They give her invitation to come out to
it open already. We go come there too, but it open already. We open it.
Of course, and what I tell them Victorians and them NNPites and them they have to, when it open, they have to go and storm the place again. Go there with a whole bulk of NNPites. You understand? Don't fuck with me. Because next thing they bring their supporters there and say they had a belly to do their thing, you know. But we have to go there with the supporters. But the thing is, I will be working for that kind of a weekend. So for that 4 days, I will be working, so I can't afford to be there.
Yeah,
that's the bad thing about it.
I'm just sorry I can't show the listeners the pictures right now because I don't have them loaded. But I promise them I'll show them the pictures tomorrow.
I send
And the
them
video.
on the Talking Points group.
And the videos,
Of course.
yes.
Yeah, I'm not making no joke with that. Are you mad?
All right, my brother.
But anyway,
But that's why I say you had to
thank you
call
so
me
much.
tonight. I intended to load it, but I got sidetracked today, so I wasn't able to load it to put it up.
Of course. Well, I was there, but I couldn't show my face because you cannot walk out doing and changing and things. You can't sabotage the boss, You can't sabotage the boss. And then kind of thing, So I had to hide myself from the video and the PTS and then kind of hide myself.
Yeah. Are we afraid that?
Yeah.
All right, my brother.
But yeah, because you know how they plan and they're vicious and they're desperate.
Well, I wonder why they're acting so.
I don't know. He's afraid. They're afraid.
What afraid?
They're afraid.
So,
So I
what?
don't know why they're afraid. You win your thing already. I mean, come on, why you afraid? Because I can remember after the election, I get already with a certain boss. I won't call name, but he's a good partner of mine. And if we just send them NDC and them, why you not going back there? And they not going back there. I was happy after the election. And they were bothering with them. And they listening. And they kind of think every now and then I got button, bother with them. But I know that is how we know the experience of the people and them is one Tom people, so we don't bother him. But the only thing is, we could only say one Tom, and only today I was talking to some fellas in the bay when they was casting in, just in the bottom of my me down there. And I telling them, I was encouraging them to register and encouraging them to vote and take part. That is the important thing. It's a democracy.
And caller,
we need to do that.
that is why I started the program in the way that I started the program, speaking about the importance of the reorganization of the party. Our party groups ready. If I call any constituency right now and I ask about a particular polling division, it should be a situation where within the next couple months I should be able to come on this program and say, PD2 in St. Andrews Southwest, are you organized? And somebody must be able to call and say, yes, we have X, this is organized, that is organized, or village groups are organized, everything is organized. They must be able to call and be able to say that. So we must organize our political that is the important thing to do right now. Yeah? Because no political organization here in Grenada or outside of it can beat a well-organized new national party. We know that.
No.
Some of us dropped the ball last year. Some of us dropped the ball. And that is why we end up in the situation we end up in. But a well-organized NNP, everybody knows, is unbeatable.
Shannon, no joke about that. No joke about that. They freed us.
Between me and you.
Michelle.
Boss, between me and you and everybody listening, I had enough for you. Bye-bye.
Anyway.
Later, Papa, you call me. All right, I'm going to make sure I put up the videos.
Of course.
All right, boss.
Okay, take care. Have a good night.
Good night to you, Brother Watts. I hope you're having a wonderful night, you and the wife, and everybody is all well. Hey, I haven't said a good night to Martin down there in Granada. Martin, yeah, you and your lovely wife, a special good night to both of you. Mammy George, a special good night to you as well. I nearly call her name there and I nearly watch. Mammy George, after I call your name, I used to call her next name there. I can't call her name again, Yeah, I nearly call her name, But I know they're listening from where they are. Yeah, I know that they are listening. Right, folks, 440-7377. That's the number for you to get on the inside, and 347-329-3101. Let me play that thing again, man. Yeah, I'm playing it. Mammy George, you say don't play it again. I'm playing it again. Right after this call, I'm playing it again. I hope Cammy watching. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon.
You're extremely low. I can't hear you, so I know the listeners ain't hearing you. You had to talk a little loud.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Let me see if I push it up. Hello, go ahead now.
Yes, good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
All right, yes, I'm hearing you now. Yeah.
Right. You started off on a very good note this afternoon, and I did hear a little bit of Miss
Pierre.
Miss Pierre. A very little piece of her. I didn't know she was on this morning. In terms of Miss Miss Delma Thomas. It didn't surprise me. I more or less saw that spoke to Miss Delma in person. So I knew that it was coming. And whatever happened. It didn't, I see not a surprise. But I really hope that the MNP put a team together as quick as possible.
Did you hear yesterday the release that came out on behalf of the party? Because
yes,
that release was very clear that is exactly what the NMP is doing.
I heard the release. I had, and somebody sent it on my phone.
Yeah.
So I have the release.
So it was very clear in that is exactly what the party is doing.
So I am hoping that serious work take place and reaffirm the party now. Because anything could happen anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And NMP, I don't want to see NMP fail. We have to have a proper structure. And we can deny it. There was not real satisfaction within the party. Some people was the party had a little bit of disturbance. Let us put this party together. NMP should not feel. Some NMP reach in those kind of positions. We know of different persons that resigned in NMP and came back. We could remember Mr. Fletcher and many others that went out and came back. The party must put the engine in place and let us start preparing this party. In terms of the present administration, there seems to be ducking from a lot of things. This matter with the persons doing here and whatnot, when you hear the release that came out, the people are trying to say that it was some saying it was wrong, some saying that it wasn't the government that gave it out. People in Grenville told me it wasn't the government, it's people at NMP, people that want to put that. I mean, that is so unjust to say, because we know for certain. I heard a doctor, the person that's in charge, saying that they were supposed to train for 6 months, and if they had trained for 6 months, June would have been the deadline and whatnot. The whole bottom line is that the government made their mistake and tried to. The same thing with the vendors. They give us the impression that the vendors, the notice that go to the vendors was not from the authorities. And these things, and we have to capitalize on them immediately and spread them. Because we know for certain the vendors came out and said that nobody told them directly they see things on their Facebook. So these people are not settled. They are making some progress. They are having things done, but they're not settled. They're definitely not settled. It seemed to me that they're not cohesive together. So the party have to put the structure in place. Because we're hearing a lot of things, we've seen a lot of things happening. You know, I mean, or you could put out a release like that. Ask the people to leave the market in 3 or 4 days, leave the stadium in 3 or 4 days, and everybody trying to do now like if that didn't happen. To back up that the Prime Minister went in the market Monday. Asked to do what was it? Is that a sympathetic visit? Is that to show loyalty? What it is for? What it is for? You go there in the morning. What you to hold a meeting with them? To date, you have not tell them what happened and why it happened like that. So what is the sense? Have we got a release from what the Prime Minister went to say? No. So you want to twist up something again. So we have to be very careful.
All right.
Right.
Okay, Clifford. Thank you so very much. All right. 44073, and we have a call on the line. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, Sheldon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Pretty well.
Right.
Just want to say good night to the Talking Point family. I want to shout out Honorable Emmeline Pierre for her very, very demeanor this morning. She was on the ball. She was answering questions through all the attacks. And I give her all the praise for that. Secondly, Mr. Scott, I want to say, well, condolences once again to Senator Cox. And what I love to see was the support that he got from his former ministers and Dr. Mitchell and Minister Ngawe, Brother Bowen, Kendra, and all the others, Peter David, everyone. But I want to ask the question, was the MP of Karakou, Minister for Karakou, was he there? Anybody can answer that question for me?
I can't remember seeing him. I didn't get to view the entire thing, but I can't remember seeing. He may have been there. I doubt that he would be so to not go. Let me... but I know. I can't answer a question. Maybe somebody from Karakou could call and say. I don't know.
I happened to watch that whole entire service, and I didn't. Well, I'm blind, but I haven't seen him. But if that's the case, well, so be it. But you know, Shalon, I'm listening to all the people that's talking and all the things that's happening again, and we are hearing people making certain statements. They're calling people thief. They saying all kind of things, and these things. I know this law they passed, this electronic, people can be held liable for the words. And I saw something this afternoon
long before that, you could be held liable for your words, brother. There's the people tend to think that you have to call a person's name when you're saying something, but once you make a statement and people understand who you're talking about, and the statement about the individual is untrue, they can take you to court.
Right, because I saw a comment this afternoon and I screenshot it, and it's basically calling for physical violence that involves death. And even though I keep
that needs to be forwarded to the police.
Yeah, I keep saying to the Honorable Minister of National Security, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, speak to your supporters. I have never in all my life known NMP, been a member since 1999, knowing or hearing all this level of violence and threats. I mean, we all know that the social media presence is more pronounced now. And people believe they can hide behind a certain keyboard and a fake profile and do what they want.
Let us stay there.
I am seeing, well, I can sign in, but I'm seeing people that is be online on a certain program, and I'm seeing them on that certain media holders program, and they go now with the same thing, calling people thief, they calling people this, they calling people that. And they go now with it, and they get away, they feel they get away. But I'm going to send you what I saw this afternoon. But all I'm saying is that, Minister of National Security, deal with your members or your supporters who condone this thing, because, trust me, I don't like how you're doing. I don't like it at all. And I see that they continue the Empower program, and they're giving a little kudos to the NMP and all these things, which is good, right? Someone asked, where is the senator for St. Mark? They're not seeing him. They're not hearing him. Is he still a senator? Can you tell me, please?
Well, we might find out when the second opening of the health center taking place. Because I mean, Tanti Clarice, call me, please. Tanti Clarice, go and open the thing for herself, you know.
No, the reason why I asked him if the senator is even visible is because someone asked for him on their so-called propaganda program, and the response was, well, you know, he's not a minister, or he's a senator. So
Papa,
I'm trying to figure if he's a black sheep in the family.
That is their business, Papa, not mine.
That is their business. But NMPites, stay focused, stay the course. The threats are there, and I'm calling all our MPs who are there, Peters, the Spear, all the others, please stay the course, because trust me, this distraction is not working, and they're taking it up a notch. They didn't get you with what they're trying to get you, but they're taking it up and they're going up with it. And you know what I'm talking about, Chelon. So yes. You guys have a good night.
All right, my brother. And you know, one other thing I want to say is that some of us tend to take their propaganda and spread it for them. And we have to be wise. When the NDC puts out something, and you know it's them, there's no if, what, or but about it. You know it's them that behind these negative things. When they put it out, and you see it spreading all over the place, why are you taking it and help them spread it? We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, good night.
If that is the voice I want to hear. We have on the line with us the Honorable Clarice Modest. Good night, ma'am.
Brother Sheldon, good night to all of the listeners to your program, whether they're here in Grenada, Carriacou, City, Martinique, or whether they're somewhere in the diaspora. I want to say good night. I am really so happy for this medium that you provide, so that the truth and the lies can be raised and discussed, and the reality of our situation in Grenada can be made known. Now, we in NNP, we have not been known to blow our trumpet. We have not done it over the years. And so NDC has exploited that to say a lot of untruths. And one of the things that was being said, either this MP didn't do nothing, or the government or the under NNP didn't do anything. And I believe it's time for us to speak on it. Because sometimes people see things and they hear the contrary and they believe what they hear. I don't know what is the magic in it, but there's something that makes them believe that there is a lot more that could have been done. Now, I am of the philosophy that there's always something more that can be done. But the reality is that a lot has been done. And so I want to take a minute to talk about this new health center and the street that it is on, that is called Queen Street. I don't know if it's the coronation one that the Prime Minister went to for the King or the Queen, but
not here alone. A lot of them that went there.
A boy, we have a money to pay again.
Trip was heavy.
Well, and no matter how pregnant a child is left, if it is abused, it will go in 9 and 10 and 12 months. And I hope people are noting that, and that some of the things that we enjoyed, that we took for granted, could very soon no longer be available to us. But I want to talk about that street on the medical station. Right where the medical station is built, there is a complex. There's a daycare center. That building was started somewhere in 2006, 2007. And when the NDC came in 2008, they discontinued the project. And from 2008 to 2013, not one nail was laid on that building. A daycare center. Nothing was done until NNP came back into office. And of course, we resumed the completion of that daycare center. Now that daycare center, it needs more space, it needs to grow, because it's always full. And it's providing now an opportunity for persons to leave their children in safekeeping and go and do a job. So right now, the daycare center doesn't have enough space. I know somebody who was checking, and every now and then people say, well, we checked and there's no space. But my theory is that although it may be necessary to expand, that what we may find at the rate that people are going home, that the daycare center may have too much space. I am worried about that. But in terms of that, the infrastructure and what and never was done, that building was restarted in 2013 and was brought to completion. And upstairs, there's a resource center with a library and there's a large room for meetings, for training, whatever could be done. And there's a smaller room for similar things could be done right next to that library. And they say nothing was done, but you have these 3 buildings right there. And I'm taking you down south towards Gulf direction on that same street. Lower down, we have the market. That market was refurbished and brought up to standard, what they call the HACCP standard, to meet international standards, so that fishermen can export their fish and that fish can be accepted because the standards have been laid. And not only that fish market there, the one in in Duquesne Bay was also done. And so we never lost the ability to export fish. That's why our snapper, but primarily our yellowfin tuna, can be exported. But in that market, on that same Queen Street, a huge cold room was built. No, they don't want the fish frozen anymore, so it is not used as much. And when it was not needed as much, a very large ice machine was put there. I want Grenadians to go and check in the records of the Ministry of Agriculture, of Fisheries, and see the record where it was bought by any government. I am the one who got that fish machine to come with, of course, the specifications that were given to me by Fisheries. And afterwards, under NNP government, I remember Honorable Alvin Dabio negotiating for some small Japanese, I think it's Japanese, ice machines. And so Victoria has that to the point where we are competing with Gulf for the amount of fish that is caught and the amount of fish that are exported. I don't have the details in front of me, but it is a fact. St. Mark has grown in the fish industry under the NNP government and under any other government, with loans for boats and support to fishermen, and even the hauling place at Waltham. And sometimes I have to divert from Queen Street. If you go up to Waltham, that place was built under us just so the fishermen could pull up. And under NNP, in recent years, a design was done by a well-acclaimed engineer in Grenada. And a contract was signed to expand the landing area, to do some land reclamation and so on, as a first phase, so that fishermen can have places to haul up their boats when they come from fishing. If there's a rough sea, if there's a storm, they can haul up their boats and so on, and put the big tubs that they use, whatever the name is, to put fish. Because right now they do not have. That contract was signed and approved by the Ministry of, approved first and then signed by the Ministry of Work. And up to now, it's going on almost a year. The work was due to start anytime under NNP. And up to now, not one movement has been made. They love NNP, they love the fishermen, they love the young people. And a project that was signed, and there was money for it, that it could have been done, has not signed under NNP. And we perhaps should have been celebrating its completion by now. They decided not to continue. So let us go back to Queen Street. So we include the fish market. Go lower down on the left-hand side, the police station. Yes, under any government, any building we get dilapidated. It happens, but we fixed it. We fixed it, and there's some remaining work to be done. So I wait to see what the government is going to do about it. And we could still continue. Well, right in that junction there where the police station is, the Anglican church got damaged. I think it was after Ivan, and we contributed money to assist the church to do the restoration of that church. Continue on Queen Street only. There is a bridge where you have what they call dual carriage, up and down, vehicles could flow. Years ago, that bridge, only one vehicle could pass at a time. So a vehicle pull up and allow another vehicle to pass. Now it's dual carriage, and some people who are voting age now do not know about that. Maybe they were too small to remember, but that is what it was. And that piece of work was done under NNP, and the whole Western Main Road come down was done under the New National Party. And recently again, the New National Party negotiated for the Western Main Road, got the monies for the Western Main Road, where a lot of the hairpin corners, the narrow corners, where long vehicles couldn't, like those that carry the people call it the caterpillar, those heavy equipment that they find difficulties, or those that carry containers, they find difficulties. That money was made for that. That money has been lost under the NDC, the transformation government, that have a whole ministry of implementation. And in one whole year, they could not implement it, and we have lost that project. So one of our questions you have to ask, well, you've lost it. How do you fix it? Because it is still there to be done. I have only spoken about one street so far, and I will stay there for now because I know other persons would want to say things. And come back to the health center. That health center, we had consultation on it. Dental, the nurses, the doctor's room was too small. There was not adequate facilities for a dental room. And the thought was, well, they could go to Gov. There are some things that could be done in Gov Health Center that don't necessarily have to be provided in Victoria. But certainly, there needs to be a dental room that can provide basic health care and dental care so that before you reach to extraction, you could be taught how to clean and that fillings and so on and preventive measures can be taken there. There are nurses, there are quarters now for the nurses where they can have the lunch. They didn't have a dedicated lunch room. There's a lunch room. There's a relaxation room in case they need to take the half-hour break or whatever. For the doctors, if they need to do that, they separate decent bathrooms for patients, decent bathrooms for the nurses. Every basic facilities you need for a community health facility is in that place. And imagine if it is properly staffed, if it is properly equipped, and I say if, because the way the funds are going in Grenada, we may not get the proper equipment that we need. But let's see. Let's see what happens. And we got also a dental chair for that facility, but it could not even fit into the facility. So I hope that will be reinstalled there. But another if the facility in Guelph is well manned 24/7, then the one in Soteres, the one in Victoria, they can do their role, and Guelph can pick up the slack to do emergency health care and other chronic disease health care, so that people don't have to leave Soteres and reach all in the hospital in St. George before they can get some emergency health care. So we have done our part. The infrastructure has been laid throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, Martin. What is left now is for them to take it. When government succeed, you don't make everything perfect. And there are a number of exciting things to happen in St. Mark. But let us leave a little bit for another time. So you have a wonderful listening audience. They are well informed. They don't only listen, they contribute to the dialogue. And I want to invite more Grenadians, wherever you are, whether you're in country or out of country, participate. Because some people, before elections, they said so much that they knew nothing about. They said a lot of things that they themselves do not have to undergo. Or some of them, outside of Grenada, they were under worse conditions than in Grenada, but they talk about it, then it was bad. I want them to start talking about the things that we do not have in the hospital now, the medical supplies, what people have to take their money from their pocket and buy or beg to go there. Let us talk about that, and let's call on the present government to do what it has to do to improve on healthcare. So, ma'am, I think I've said enough for now. Tomorrow,
I like you talking.
The official opening.
I like you talk more, and I'm showing the pictures right now while you're talking. I see my partner pilot. I hope he's okay. I know he had a little accident.
Yes, I called him the other day, and he said, "Doc, I ain't too good enough." I said, he had an accident. He's accident prone, and he has his own situation, but he's always been there.
Yeah.
He's a stalwart, and he has always been there. I heard a question though about the MP for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. I did not see him there. I was there and I did not see him because somebody like that would have been brought to the front. I didn't see him at the church. I did not see him at the cemetery. So that's all I can say. I can't say he was not there, but if he, and usually he is not a person to hide himself. He's very vocal and he makes his presence felt. So I would think it very, very strange if he was there and was silent.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be strange.
Yes. So I will leave it there. But I want all Grenadian people to look very carefully. When poor people get sick or they die, some people don't come around. When they get buried, they don't come around. And I have observed that in the funerals that I've gone to, which largely are in St. Mark, but in other places occasionally I go and you don't see many of, because, there's not a lot of opportunity to grandstand and to mislead and to lie. So you don't go. You don't go. But when there's an opportunity to show yourself, even if you sleep in the function, because I understand some people go to function, they say, I know who they were representing. It could have been the how you call the program again, where the people get citizenship? The CBI.
The CBI program?
It could have been sit down in the program with the CBI, but I see the man sleeping on a chair. So the point is, I didn't see him, and I think that was very, very lamentable. But anyways, might have had his reasons, and so I don't want to say too much because we don't know all of the details, but I don't think he was there. So I look forward to the opening. I'm really, really, really happy that I was invited and that I am being asked to say a few words. I'll be very diplomatic there, because I believe that there's a time and place for everything. But I'm very disappointed that the Ministry of Youth, they had a graduation for
the Empower. Yeah.
And I was looking out for an invitation, and I did not see one. This is an NMP program, and it has given a lot of young people, especially young men. We do know that they are more vulnerable than the young girls in a lot of instances, in the growing up and the formative years. And that is a program that was conceived and designed to help those young people to find purpose in life, to get a vocation, to pursue an area, skill that they like. And at the completion, at the graduation, those people were given the equipment, the tools, those who wanted to do landscaping, they were given their weed eaters. Some people got nice freezers. They wanted to get into the culinary art, the food preparation and so on. They got their tools. And all of them were given something that they could make a start. Not just something while you wait for something else. They could have made a start in the areas where they were trained. They had job training. And now many of them are making a living out of that. So, Sheldon, this program is a brilliant opportunity. I think I've taken enough for tonight. I'm really happy.
Nobody is saying that, We have you. If you will, and you go easy. So, a question I wanted to ask you.
That while it's an opportunity for us as MPs, it is also an opportunity for the people. And therefore, I try. I mean, if you let me go, you can hold me back, So
no, but what I want to ask a question, and it's in relation to the facility that's just been because I realize now that everybody go be jealous of what has just been done for the people of St. Mark with that facility that's there now. And I realize you were speaking about also the facility in Guelph. So there's a connectivity between what takes place at the facility within your constituency and what is taking place down there in St. John.
Interconnection.
Yes, so there's an interconnection between both of them. Because
you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, because the facility in St. John, if I remember correctly, there's supposed to be a room there, a maternity room and so on and different things.
A number of things.
Well, yeah. Supposed to actually is a mini hospital.
X-ray room, ultrasound room, maternity room, and so on. All of these facilities are there so that if there's an accident, maybe they go to Victoria first and something can be done to stabilize them, and they go there where even more can be done. Or if they seem to be all right, but you want to observe them, because somebody may appear to be all right in a particular situation, and then shortly after things can change. You send them back home, and then things develop. And so there are rooms there where the patients can lie down comfortably while they wait to be observed and so on. If they go up and the sugar is high or the pressure is high and they give them some treatment, they can be observed to see how they progress to determine whether they need to go further down south to St. George or whether they can be advised, they can be educated and so on, and given some medication to go home. So that place was strategically selected. And I remember when it was being constructed, some people in St. Mark said, well, St. Mark need one too. But Sheldon, we have to be realistic. Our nurses are going. Our doctors are going. You could and you can build a lot of things. And I hear talk about a new hospital. I would welcome that. But if you're struggling now to find medical supplies, by the way, during COVID, I have a wonderful niece in New Jersey. She sent containers of supplies. And Honorable Delma Thomas can attest to that. And she sent me some photos again. She's sending some containers, some supplies down to Grenada. She asked me what we needed and so on. And of course, also it depends on what is available. And she's going to send. So the Modest family, you know, we've been doing our own as well, you know, to contribute to the healthcare services. So I'm hoping that will alleviate, when it arrives, some of the need in the hospital. But that no matter how large the amount is, it needs a lot more, because so much has been lost. And I remember even when there were a few things missing at certain times in the hospital, there was a hue and cry. I'm not hearing, I mean, people are complaining, but it's a kind of low murmur. There's not enough demand for these things, and maybe less travel.
Yeah.
Maybe the money that was loaned to some of the ministers could be channeled towards healthcare for all, so that not just a few chosen people benefit, but that the nation benefits. And I think the government needs to start looking at that. So that place in Guelph is supposed to not only serve St. John's, it's supposed to serve the people of the Western Corridor, from St. Patrick all the way down, because it's about kind of midway to St. George, so that certain things can be done there to save lives. And if they have to go further on, at least they would have been seen the drips put up, whatever put up, and so on, and St. George's Hospital can be prepared to receive them. So that was strategically placed. It's not idle. And if you cannot manage that, how you managing a big, huge new hospital somewhere else in terms of supplies? So I'm not saying we don't want the hospital. Anything that is good for Grenada, I'm for it, regardless to the government that brings it into play and into reality. But we have to be realistic. Hospitals cost money. So we have to be prepared to channel money into health if you want to build a new hospital, and provide the staffing and the supplies for the satellite places, so that we have a holistic approach to healthcare.
Because what this reminds me of, I remember back in, and I'll go very far back here, back in 1999 when we had the storm surge, you had the situation where people further up on the West Coast could not get down to the south of the island except by boat.
Precisely.
So with this facility in St. John, if something like that reoccurs, where the road is damaged, at least a little past the basic stage of medical care can be provided in St. John. For the people of St. Mark, even St. Patrick, St. Mark, St. John can be provided through these two facilities.
And Brother Alvin Dabreu could tell you how he and I fought for that. We worked with the Ministry of Health and we reminded them that building had to be done. But very interestingly, somebody mentioned something. You know, somewhere in the designing of that, the one at Victoria, all the designs just disappeared, you know.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Sometimes, you know, you don't want to think, you know, ill of people. And there might be a very, a plausible explanation to it. But also, you have to start asking yourself questions. Why some things take so long? Some projects just get stalled on the wayside. They can't happen. Is it that they couldn't happen under certain government and it could be given a chance on the other? I don't know. But what he says is true. They just disappeared. And we have to go back afresh to the drawing board. So, people somebody goes and put up a picture of a old piece of wall and say we want a new medical station. And people start saying things against the MP. But they don't know what's happening in the background. And I blame us, From the time we have a meeting in the medical station, a consultation. Consultation is a big word,
Mm-hmm.
It's an important word. And you will find that this facility will provide all the basic space. I can only speak to the space. So that for the services to be achieved. Just about a year or two before we finalized the drawings and did everything, the pharmacy had to be totally refurbished because it was getting termite. And then so a building reaches a stage at certain times where it doesn't make sense repairing it. Because as you fix the pharmacy, the toilet goes. And we were there you can't fix everything immediately as it happens. But we were there repairing until we said no. That is a waste of money there. We need to start afresh. And this is exactly what we did. It takes time. And another time I want us to talk about Bonnet Bridge, because I think sometimes...
Doc, you know what I'm going to do? Me and you had a little plan for something.
We had a plan, but you didn't call him.
No, but you know the thing good these days with our moving around.
Yes, so what I would say good night to you and our beloved listeners. Because I don't want to hog the whole talk. I mean, if you give me a chance, I could talk about so many things that we have done in St. Mark alone.
No, we have to have you back. We have to have you back on. And in having you back on, I want to have you back on video, which is something that I've been working on this week. That's the reason I haven't had guests on for the last couple of weeks, because I had a little issue. But I've sorted that out. We should be able to bring you on via Zoom. So we're looking to do that. And so we will have you on very soon again with us.
So let's discuss that off air. And let's give your listeners an opportunity to give a call. Because I think I've said quite a lot. And I always want to hear what they're saying and what they're writing. And we could speak about that off air.
Yes,
but we have a lot to talk about that we have done and that we have done well.
Yes, indeed.
And I know I want to leave with one thing, that our achievements far outweigh the mistakes that we've made, because every government makes mistakes, but they far outweigh that. And we have always listened to the people. We have always consulted. And that's why we have been so successful as a party.
Dr. Modest, Dr. Modest, last one before you go. It took the new National Party on returning into office in 2013 about 6 months to was roughly about 3,000 to 4,000 young people under the Imani program. We're into month 11 of the NDC administration. No such program. No such initiative to get a lot of young people involved in any program. Nothing like that. So you're quite correct in your last statement. We thank you very much for your time, Dr. Modest.
Have a good night.
All right, thank
you.
Talk
again. Right. And tomorrow will be the official opening. Have a good night, everybody. I love you guys.
All right. And you're getting a lot of love on the live right now. All right. Bye-bye. Folks, we were speaking with our member of parliament. I just say she's the lioness. Yeah, the lioness over there in the west. Everybody come. That lioness, she eating them raw. No seasoning. She eating them raw. It's an election day, fellas go up in St. Mark and thing. About 5 o'clock election day and thing, when they hear the votes start to count and thing, by the time they hear the first box in St. Mark, they'll just take the folder and go home. They even staying for the rest of the count. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Let's get back to the phone lines. Hello, good night.
Yes, sir. You asked me to call you. How can I help?
No, it's your call back me. Save me.
Oh, I thought you said call you.
No. We'll speak afterwards.
Let me hear the callers, man. Let me hear the callers.
No problem, Doc.
Callers hear other callers. Have a good night.
All right. Yes, indeed. And let me see. Oh, yes, we have another caller online. Hello, good night. Hello? Hello, good night.
Good night, good night.
Hi, good night. Yes, you're live caller. Go right ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying, what Ms. Mothers just said, we doesn't blow we trumpet. When we do something, we don't talk about it. Right now, they have a big billboard in Lamore, rating up the pasture with red and whatnot and things. We doesn't blow we trumpet, we doesn't talk with things when we do it. And that is the mistake. And know what we do and then kind of thing. But we there. Big billboard, you can see the size of the billboard.
I'll go check it out.
belongs to there.
I'll check it out. We having a problem hearing you, though. I don't know if something is wrong with your phone or the connection, but I'm having a problem hearing you.
You're still having a problem?
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Caller, I think we heard what you said. You spoke about the billboard. So I think we basically got the gist of what you were speaking about.
Let's see what Mr. Hearing it?
No, I think we got the gist of what you were speaking about, the billboard in Lamode, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my brother. And
you had to blow
correct.
trumpet. You had to blow your trumpet for yourself.
Yeah, man. All right. Thank you. And let me go to the WhatsApp. Let me see if I could get it. Let me see if I could get a WhatsApp day. Let me see. As I said, the WhatsApp kind of moving slow on me these days. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Shala, just call back to tell you, Dr. Mothers, good night.
All right. 30 seconds and bye-bye.
Next month, I just want to remind the people of St. Mark's that we'll be vandalizing the public meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I forget to re-emphasize on that. And even Dr. Mothers forgot to re-emphasize it. So from next month and the second week, we'll be, I don't know where we're going yet, but we'll be going to a certain village also. We might start in a Tonga, Victoria, of a certain a public meeting.
Okay.
Let me say good, and let me give somebody else a chance.
Okay, no problem, my brother. Yes, indeed, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Ollie, come now, let me, what people tell me don't play the thing again for? Nah, before I take our next call, let me play the thing quick. All you have to remember, this is the MP for the one who ain't go to the funeral today. Yeah, the MP for Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Too many of our seniors can't afford to pay for their medication. Too much of our seniors can't afford the medication. Too much of our seniors can't even afford to survive on the seed money that they give them every month. Too much of our seniors are suffering, sisters and brothers. And we as young people, if policies are not put in place to uplift us and to take us forward, very soon we will be in the same position. Because the reality is many of our young people are, as I've said, unemployed or underemployed. And if you're not contributing towards a pension, then you know what will happen. So the decision is clear for all to see and for all to make.
Yeah, that is the present MP for Carriacou. I want to hear something else he said. Let me see if yeah, police officers, I want to listen to this one carefully. Yeah, because some of them just do like they didn't say what they say, and then you just have to find where they say it and play for them. Police officers. Yeah, no, I ain't playing all you fretting me. I want to hear this one.
And to the police officers, your pension is coming under Deacon Mitchell and the Congress. Your salary scale will be increased and will be addressed.
Yeah, I really want to find out if the police officers that has been adjusted. Let me see if I get this caller on the WhatsApp. Yeah, let me see if I was lucky. No, boy, I was just a little slow on the draw. Let me see. I'm calling back that listener. Yeah, calling back. If you will stop now, calling back the listener. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, the seed money wasn't. Yeah, people couldn't survive on the seed. Yet still, he was part of a cabinet that take $150 away. Just remember, the individual that's speaking there is part of a cabinet that take $150 out of the same people we say could barely survive on the seed that they have. You understand? My brother, how are you? Hello.
Supposed to be walking. They're supposed to be getting a minimum of 600, but they take away 150. So what kind of maths is that? You know, if they're getting 450 and the minimum supposed to be 600, and you take away 150 from the 450, how that maths calculated? What is that? Looney Tune maths or something? Anyway, in regards to the caller, as you call her, Madame Lioness, you know, eloquent spoke. She spoke eloquently tonight. But you and I have had this conversation among other people in the certain aspects frame of the leadership of NMP in the past, even long before the election, even during COVID. When you're in politics, especially when an election is coming around, you have to blow your trumpet. This thing where we don't blow your trumpet, we don't blow your own horn, that is laid. You leave that for the people that is doing things within the community. You know, like let's say for instance, I come in grade and I'm doing stuff in my neighborhood or whatever. You know, you let the people who talk about it. You don't go and brag about it. That is, to me, and from my perspective, that is where that makes sense. But when you're in politics and you're working that hard to get things done in your constituency and for the people of your constituency, and you don't talk about it, especially when you're coming around to election, I will put it this way, NNP behaving like the Democratic Party in America, and then they get beat over the head with it. Because you have to refute the lies. When the people come in and they're saying all these things, Sheldon, you and I have had this conversation on many occasions when I tell you, as far as people in the diaspora are concerned, it's NDC alone that doing things in Grenada. Because that was all the narrative that was being played out here. NMP doing nothing, this and the other, and you know, all of that. But people have to stand up and they have to speak the truth to what is being done. There are people who know it's being done. But because somebody just come and tell them something, you and I both know how, as a people, we operate. We hang where we friend hang. We do business where we friend do business. We vote how we friend them vote, in a lot of sense, right? So even they know deep down in their heart and deep down in their vision that they saw this particular NNP minister or member of parliament doing something in the constituency, and they sit down by Ms. Bain's shop drinking and their friend and everyone, and some of them have the guts to stand up and say, "Boy, all the talking nonsense." Mm-hmm. They go sit down, they go be quiet, and then they'll go along with it. And then they go hear them say, "Boy, election coming in." They did all NMP rally, all NMP events. But when time to cast the vote, they cast the vote the other way, and they stay quiet. No, that is why you see so many people right now, mums is the word with them. Because they cannot speak up. Whatever speak up and say, you know, well, boy, I really thought that was going to be and whatever. No. We as human beings and as Grenada, they have a short memory, a very, very short memory. And then always I say, one thing about our people, you could give them, you know, they have a say 99 days, 99 nights for the thief and 1 night for the watchman. They never behave the same way. You could give them 99 out of 100 and the one thing you didn't give them, they're holding in a crossway. And I can speak on that because that I've seen that happen in my own family in Grenada. They get everything, they go to Boeing, they get this, they do this, and whatever. And the one thing they ask for, which has nothing to do with the minister, nothing. Boy, me vote for that man again, you know. Well, that is how they behave. So they have to speak. When it comes into election, them trumpets have to song. You got to sing it loud, right? Because everything that this woman said tonight, could I make a big difference if it was being spoken before the election.
Mm-hmm.
I know of it. I heard of it because I'm in New York. I'm on the ground grader on many fronts. But so I have known. But there are people who might have seen it, but they say sometimes people so accustomed seeing things get done that after a while they get disoriented in a way, to the truth. Because it's not that they didn't know NMP was doing it or the ministers was doing for their constituency and all that. It's not all of that was in the factor, The whole thing is make we permanent. They go make we permanent. They go legalize marijuana. We go buy plane. We go get net and clean up the seaweed out out on the eastern side. All these promises. We go pay gratuity. We go pay pension. Even though there were people I know who was already getting their pension, but voted against NNP. And now they ain't getting the ball in. I know a person who get pension, who is still a police officer, he reached pension age yet, and come in New York and buy a 350 Mercedes Benz. And while he was in New York and they were talking about people bringing back the money, and I had a conversation with him, he said, what they go do? They will come and hold me in my throat and take it back. Right? And then you will hear some people speak in conferences and say, well, boy, that money is for thing I help them do, I work for that, I campaign, I do something, and that promise made good.
Bro, 30 seconds. Time to wrap.
Good night.
Let's have a brother.
Oh, my God. Right. This politics is better than some politics.
Later, wait.
Your partner Trump get indicted, right?
Well, I hear you get a second thing there. We go talk. All right, bro.
My friend. Good later.
Yes, I heard that here, President Trump, he get himself tapping another piece of thing that, man. Folks, it's just about time for us to end tonight. I'm sorry for the callers that were calling and didn't get through. If I could extend, I would extend, but the thing go. All right? Yeah, your partner say organize and thing, don't worry, we go talk. Nice? Good. So, folks, that is all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. Remember, tomorrow night we're going to be here. We're starting at 8 p.m. as usual. For those of you that may not be hearing us on Real FM is with us on Mondays and Tuesdays. But on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're strictly online and on We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. So you will not be able to get us on Real FM tomorrow night and on Thursday night. But we are online. You could look for us on YouTube, Talking Points Grenada on YouTube. You'll find us. Talking Points Grenada on Facebook. You'll find us and be able to follow the program. All right. My name's Sheldon Scott. That's basically all the time we have for tonight. Yeah. People, you hear what I used to be saying before election and thing? Yes, seed money is not enough. And the people suffering, the seed money is not enough. And the young people, they say, no matter young people not working and so. All right? So we have some more stuff to talk about tomorrow night, because I didn't go into everything tonight. You understand? So we have more stuff to talk about tonight. And I know when I get a little green what's going on. That's all the time we have for tonight. And everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. I am out.
Walk to them. Walk. Right now, Grenada on fire. Everybody start to perspire. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. 840 million. Let's stop with just on the island. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they support the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. What dumb they get so they eat. That is why they lose every seat. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. investment. Everywhere is more development. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC main position is to be the opposition. Them fellas not ready to lead. All they have on their mind is greed. If you want the country move on in a positive direction, let your vote remain the same. Vote for NP again. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Right now, Grenada on fire. Everybody start to perspire. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. 840 million. Let's stop with juice on the island. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they somehow the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One job they get so they eat. That is why they lose every seat. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. High praises for we performance. NNP we have the endurance. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. More private sector investment. Everywhere is more development. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they somehow the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One job they get so they eat. That is why they lose every seat. NNP, walk to them. Right now Grenada on fire. Everybody start to perspire. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. 840 million. Let's stop with juice on the island. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they somehow the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One job they get so they eat. That is why they lose